Hello everyone, my name is Guillaume and welcome to a new episode of Hit the Tone. Let's get funky! Hello guys, I hope you're doing fantastic today. Welcome to this new episode of Hit the Tone on Thomann's Guitars and Basses. In this series, I take intros, riffs, riffs, bits and pieces of famous songs and try to give you all the tools you need to hit the tone. And the cool thing about this is it is a recommendation-based format, so you choose what song I'm going to be covering next. Just put it down in the comment section and I'll get to you as soon as possible. While you're down there, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. Thank you very, very much in advance. And with all that said, let's start with today's song, which is Cory Wong by Vulfpeck. Anyways, first funk song on the channel, I think. Not on the channel, because Julia's been funking forever. If you don't know who Julia is, go check out her bass video. She's the best. Yeah. Vulfpeck is one of the hottest things to be happening to music in general at the moment. If you're not familiar with the band, just the most talented musicians on the planet put together in one band. And they're doing funk, and they're doing fusion, jazz, rock, pop, funk. It's incredible. For every instrumentalist out there, if you're into brass, drums, guitar, bass, go check out Vulfpeck. Now, how to pick a specific song, they're all really, really cool. And my problem is they're all really hard to play without like a backbeat or a bass groove, because it's so rhythmic and so funky, and it's hard to do without any point of reference. So that's why I use the looper, but I'll get back to that later. I'm going to be playing Cory Wong today, and I'm going to be using this PRS Silver Sky. It's our new toy in the video studio, so I'm just going to keep using it. He famously plays a Fender Highway 1 Stratocaster in the fourth position. Oh my god, it's so hard to say. Fourth position. Even put black tape on his pickup selector to lock it into fourth position, because that's where he's at all the time. It's kind of tricky for us as well, because I usually like to recommend other instruments that could very well do the job that the guitar in question is doing. With the fourth position, it's kind of tricky because there's not much else but a Strat to do that. When I say Strat, I mean single, 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 with a 5-way switch guitar, such as this one. But basically, our basic tone is going to sound like this. Fourth position is awesome for that kind of stuff. It does the very bright, you know, Jimmy or SRV kind of thing super well, but for funk, it's just perfect. It lands in there so beautifully. And again, any kind of guitar with at least 2 single coils here and there and a 5-way switch will do the trick for that. Everything that I'm using today, by the way, guitar, pedal, amp, and all of that, will be linked in the description box down below, as well as a bunch of other recommendations that will help you do that job at different price points. And now with the right sound coming out of our guitars, let's go see what kind of amp and pedals we're going to use. Okay, so Cory Wong, I think, quite recently bought a Dumble amplifier, which is super exciting. It's a great find. It's a fantastic amp and way out of reach for all of us, I guess, most of us at least. But before that, he was playing a bunch of Fender amps. So that's really cool. As you guys know, I'm using the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe Tweed Edition. Here, the controls will be on your screen. And this lends itself really well to that kind of really bright, spanky, clean tones. So that's cool. And he's also a very famous user of compression, both in the studio and on stage. So to get closer to his sound, I'm going to be using the Ego compressor by Wampler Effects. This one, more than another, there's no reason in particular. It is on our video room board all the time. So if you've watched any of the videos with Chris and I, when we're using compression, it's going to be this one. And it's pretty handy dandy because that's also the one that Cory Wong is using most of the time, as far as I'm aware, at least on stage. The controls will be on the screen, pretty much everything at noon, close enough. If you've got the bigger version of the Ego, you might want to mess around with the tone and the attack, which on this version are little toggle switches, on the other one are full knobbed. But there's a couple of videos out there where he shows his board. Go check out the Vertex channel, for example, and you'll see exactly how he dials it in. Anyways, using the Ego compressor by Wampler will take us there. Not much of a difference really, just a slight volume boost for sure, but what the compressor does is that it evens out everything. So like the transient is a lot less apparent, you can hear the pick, you can hear it's very percussive and yeah, just kind of flat. It's not a sound that you'd be running after for every style of music, but for funk it's definitely useful because there is a lot going on with the rhythm and the right hand playing, and you want all of that to come through rather evenly, I say, and that's what the compressor is for. Now, as you might have already seen in the introduction, I'm also using the Boss RC1 loop station. And what that allows me to do is just play both guitar parts together, at least for the intro and outro of that video. When we go through the lesson, like the tutorial of how to play it, we'll go through them separately, obviously. And that is the most excellent segue onto the third and final part of that video, which is the most important as usual, and is how to play the song. And before we get started, here is the usual disclaimer. If you want to spend some more time learning the song, the tabs will be available in the description box down below. Your guitar for this song should be tuned in E standard, and there are 2 guitar parts playing at the same time during the introduction. Let's go through the first of these parts, starting with our fretting hand. Nothing too complicated on this side, a bit of a stretch maybe from fret 1 to 4 and kind of forcing you to use your pinky ideally. So if you're not sort of at ease with that, you might want to work on it. But otherwise, nothing too crazy on the left hand. Now let's have a look at the picking side of it. If you're using compression, it evens out everything in terms of the intensity of your picking, and that's good, but that's also bad because every small bit of noise, every string scraping or touching or whatever is going to be evened out as well. So you want to be really, really accurate in your picking. There's a lot of effort going into your right hand, and if you've ever seen Cory Wong play, you know what I'm talking about. Not especially on this part because it's very focused on certain strings only and not the full movement, but still, using compression implies that you have to be extra careful as to everything you do around your playing. And that is also valid for the second guitar part on that introduction. So let's have a look at that fretting hand first. Same stories for the first part really. If you're using compression, just be very accurate in your fretting because even just the slightest nail scrape on the string above is going to make it through in the mix, and you don't want that. But with that said, let's have a look at the picking side. One final note on compression regarding that part in particular is the fact that even though it does kind of squish everything at the same level, you can still hear dynamics. I mean, at that level of compression at least, you can still hear dynamics in your picking hand. So you want to be really consistent as to how you pick and how hard you're going to pick that. Because it's kind of easy to let like one note sort of not be picked as hard as the other ones. But even with compression, that's going to come through. So work on being as consistent as you possibly can with your rhythm, with your picking hand. And that is basically it for the funky part of the introduction. Now the part comes back several times during the song and is usually linked by a bridge that is very, very easy to put together. You're just going to fret the following chords: G sharp major, A sharp major, and C sharp major. And that bridge is used throughout the song to just link the funky bit. Let's call it that. But with that said, I think that's it, guys. You have all the tools you need to hit the tone on Cory Wong by Vulfpeck. And as usual, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you learned something. If there is any other song that you'd like to see on this format, please put it in the comment section down below and I'll get to you as soon as I can. And while you're down there, you know where the like button is and you know where the subscribe button is and all of that stuff. So thank you very much in advance. I wish you all a fantastic week and I will see you next Monday in a new episode of Hit the Tone.